Those who enjoy looking at pictures of baby animals, including scientists, zoologists, and even people with an interest in science or animals, have been fascinated by orangutans since the 18th century. As we learned, the reason humans are so fascinated by these playful primates may be because they're distant reflections of ourselves. We are all aware of the obvious similarities between humans and orangutans with their opposable thumbs, but just how similar are we? In this video, we are going to show you some breathtaking examples of orangutans showing off their shockingly human behavior. And make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video to see one Zugo's reaction as he interacts with particularly talented orangutans. Deep in the Borneo jungle, in central Kalimantan, Indonesia, lives a group of over 300 orphan orangutans, all cohabiting while navigating their way through the twists and turns of the rainforest. But how did they all find one another? No, it was not some Oliver Twist like coincidence. These little rascals are all part of the Borneo Jungle School put together by the Borneo Orangutan Survival Foundation. Not only has the initiative saved hundreds of orangutans from illegal pet ownership, as well as the devastating effects of deforestation, but they are dedicated to teaching these young ones the skills they will need to one day be integrated back into the wild. After all, the jungle can be a dangerous place, and without the help and guidance of their mothers, these little guys will need to be taught how to find food, build their nests, and what creatures to watch out for. If you are looking for humor, romance, heartbreak, and drama, then look no further than the documentation of these young whippersnappers going about their everyday lives. Just observe these young orangutans interact and get ready to have your mind blown by how similar it is to watching our own children. They form deep friendships, bully one another, and even find ways out of doing their schoolwork. But what blew zoologists away was seeing how they mimicked each other's actions and followed the lead of the trendsetters amongst them. 5-year-old orangutan Otan was one such trendsetter. On a particularly hot day in jungle school, Otan decides to take the large papaya leaves being handed out as healthy snacks and put it to better use. He drapes the giant leaf over his head and back, creating quite a fetching little cape. His new creation is not in the name of fashion, however. He's done it to block out the hot sun while he enjoys his lunch. This type of clever problem solving is something not often found in the animal kingdom, especially when a young one doesn't have a parent to pass on these helpful tricks. The rest of the class takes notice of Otan's bright idea and begins to follow his lead. Pretty soon, the whole lot of them are sitting around, camouflaged into the forest floor, cooling off under their giant leaves. The human caretakers are quick to point out that young Otan is known for being inventive and curious, and that each and every one of orangutans have their own unique personalities. Just like human children, some of the youngest orangutans can get a little bit nervous about the first day of school, like little Jelly Pat here, who clings to a security blanket for comfort on the big day. For Jelly Pat, if trusty old blank isn't around, the next best thing is his best friend in the entire world, Tala Ken. These two are peas in a pod and practically inseparable. Come on, doesn't that make you just want to call up your best friend and give them a big squeeze? Now, if you thought these babies orangutans were amazing, just wait until you see what they can do as they get older. Just keep watching to find. It's become clear to scientists that most primates are incredible mimics. They don't call it spring for nothing, but what makes orangutans different from the other species like parrots and other talking birds is that orangutans pick up our habits and learn to incorporate them into their own daily routines. Most of these habits are things that they've observed on their own, while doing a bit of people watching and then pass along to their fellow jungle dwellers. But as it turns out, orangutans have a particular fascination with our hygienic practices, as far as giving themselves a good soapy wash and doing the laundry. That's right. Of all the things that we humans do as a society, hand and face washing seems to intrigue them the most. It has been observed not only in zoos and rehabilitation centers, where orangutans are in close contact with humans every day, but in the wild as well. Clearly, the soapy aroma in the air attracts these curious creatures to the edge of the jungle, where they observe humans lathering up and decide they'd like to take a crack at it themselves. And to be honest, I've seen humans with worse hand-washing techniques. Well done, guys, but the good habits don't end there. When Bornean locals gather at a local river to wash their clothes, a helpful mama orangutan decides to lend a hand. Not only are orangutans clearly drawn to this household chore, but they're not bad at it either. Once again, displaying marvelous technique. Whether it's the smell of the soap, the sensation of the bubbles, is just wanting to join in the fun and be one of the gangs. It's clear that orangutans are naturally clean freaks. But don't be fooled, these long-limbed legends aren't afraid to get into some hard manual labor. This lovely lady has picked up another handy skill. What's so mind-blowing is that years ago, another orangutan figured out how to use a saw while watching the villagers construct his hut. But this orangutan is entirely wild and picked this up all on our own. It's amazing how sharp their minds are and how intuitive they can be when it comes to using man-made tools that they would never have access to in their natural habitat. But if you thought that was cool, then you haven't seen anything yet. Keep watching. Is there anything better on this earth than an unexpected friendship between animals? No, that's right. There isn't, especially when it's between an orangutan and 3 baby tigers. This curious and caring male orangutan observed the caretakers at this Myrtle Beach safari bottle feeding these sweet little tiger pups and decided he wanted to give it a try, and to everyone's surprise it worked. Not only did they take to this new job as babysitter quickly and enthusiastically, but the tigers really took to him as well. This unusual little family can be seen hovering, wrestling, and playing to the joy and fascination of the many spectators who come from far and wide to get a glimpse of them. Unfortunately, Tigers the Preservation Safari, where this heartwarming sight can be seen, is known to exploit their animals and do not keep them in hospitable environments. Under these trying circumstances, it is even more heartwarming to see the love and nurturing that these animals show one another when humans fail to show the respect and care that these sweet creatures deserve. Leave it to a fellow member of the animal kingdom to pick up the slack. We could all take a page from the sweet, loving orangutan and treat others with kindness, regardless of whether they come from the same background as we do. Of course, we love to see animals interacting and being adorable. But just wait till you see what happens when a passing zoogoer decides to engage with this orangutan. He couldn't believe his eyes, and neither will you. By now, you've probably picked up on the fact that orangutans are pretty clever and quick to pick up on the day-to-day habits that we humans like to engage in. They like washing up, doing the laundry, caring for the kids, and even some like carpentry. It would seem like life is all work and no play. Well, as this tourist visiting a zoo in Bali soon found out that might not be the case. While taking a tour of the zoo, this young man's attention was caught by a large orangutan sitting by his watering hole. The tourist decided to try and engage with the peaceful-looking creature by tossing him a snack. But instead of popping the treat into his mouth, the orangutan did something that had everyone in shock. He lifted his incredibly long arm and gently tossed it back. The crowd couldn't believe their eyes. The stunned tourist took a chance and once again threw the snack back to the waiting orangutan, to the delight of the tourist and the gathering crowd. The orangutan raised his arm once more, and what followed was a breathtaking game of interspecies pitch and catch. If these stories and videos have proven anything, it's that not only do these sweet, majestic, and intelligent creatures share 97% of our DNA, but they also share our sense of community, our playfulness, and we could also probably learn a thing or two from their hygiene practices. In fact, when you watch how well they adapt to their surroundings and learn to coexist with those around them. Even a species claiming the majority of the responsibility for their near extinction, it's inspiring. While scientists study and observe how much our distant cousins adopt from us, I'd like to ask what it is that we can learn from them. So, what do you think? What did you take away from this video? What do you think we can learn from orangutans? I hope you liked this video. Please give us thumbs up. Also share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.